All right. Morning. It is 3:30 p.m. That is not morning. Hello, welcome, good afternoon, aloha, wherever you are in the world. Hello. I have been procrastinating this video for probably a week because I don't even know where to start. I have so many thoughts going on in my head, and every time I think of what I want to say, how I want to say it, my thoughts just kind of do that. I am here to talk about the one thing that has changed my life in so many ways when it really shouldn't. So I look very oily, but I swear I'm not. It's just my highlight. Okay, anyways, I'm gonna talk about my struggle with food. Why I struggle with it, how I struggle with it, how I recover from struggling with it. You get the idea. Basically, when I was little, I was overweight and I simply ate because I was hungry or because I wanted to, and I wasn't worried about my body image or anything really. Then when I was an early teenager and realizing, okay, I'm overweight, I need to lose weight, blah, 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 I always thought that you had to restrict yourself. I was always thinking about eating healthy foods. And I was always thinking about how I hated it. I always thought that to lose weight I had to eat only vegetables. I didn't really understand what you had to do in order to lose weight and whatever. So I don't even know. This is what I'm talking about. I even have notes in front of me and I'm still so, I don't know. I'm just gonna start rambling about things that I think are important. When you are trying, let's try that again. If you're trying to lose weight, do not, and I'm gonna repeat this probably like 18 times during this video, do not restrict yourself of one certain food or a type of food or anything that you are telling your mind no. Because any time that I've told myself that I cannot have something, it leads into this vicious cycle of telling your mind that you can't have something. It will consume you. I'm now sounding kind of crazy, and I think not everyone deals with the same issues that I do, but in my experience, any time that I have restricted myself from something, it makes me want it even more, and I get into this depressive state of mind because it is all I think about, and all I want to think about is eating that food because I'm telling myself I can't have it, which is such an unhealthy way of living, really. If you want to eat a certain food, if you are someone who cannot stay away from cookies, have a cookie and then move forward and get along with your routine and your habits and everything else you want to do. Do not restrict yourself from the foods you enjoy eating. If you are on some sort of diet or nutrition plan, or you're trying to make a change to your body and you're following some sort of plan, eat foods that you look forward to. Eat foods that you enjoy, because regardless of if you are on a calorie deficit or not, or you're struggling with how much to eat, or you're struggling with the idea of food and you're scared of food, make foods that you enjoy eating. I am on a calorie deficit right now. I love eating all the food that is all incorporated. It satisfies me, it fills me up physically, I look forward to it, I enjoy it, it makes me feel good. Eat food that you enjoy because your life will be so much easier, I promise. Now, I'm a mess. I have so many thoughts in my head right now, I don't even know how to explain it. You know what? I'm just gonna talk about how I feel about food and why I struggle with it. For the last 2 years, I've been trying to lose weight. When I first started out, I thought that if I worked out so much and burned so many calories, and then I ate close to nothing, that I would lose weight. And yes, I did. That happened. It was awful. I was losing weight way too quickly. I wasn't doing it healthily. Is that a word? No. I was doing it the wrong way, let's just say that. I didn't know the right way to be on a calorie deficit. I didn't really understand the whole idea of it. So I lost weight really fast. While I was doing this, I was eating probably vegetables and some sort of protein, and like that's it. I told myself that I couldn't have carbs because I was like, oh, carbs are bad, blah 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 blah, and then I had no energy and had headaches all the time, and I had trouble sleeping, and my exercise was awful. I didn't want to do anything at all, and I wondered why, and now I'm like, oh, makes sense. Okay, I told myself I couldn't eat certain foods. Like I said, going off of that before, when you restrict yourself, you get into this vicious cycle of wanting the foods that you're telling yourself you cannot have, and I think that is not the best way to go. Then when I started learning how to be on a calorie deficit properly and how much food I should be eating and how much food my body needs for the exercise that I'm doing, the lifts I'm doing, that kind of thing, I really started struggling with thinking about food all the time. And I never really pictured myself being someone to have a problem with food. I've kind of discovered a couple things about myself that I think I need to talk about more and that I think other people are struggling with as well. That is 100% emotional eating and always thinking about food as being my comfort. I'm just gonna be completely honest. I struggle a lot when it comes to food because when I was upset, I always resorted to going to food as being my way of comforting myself, and I didn't realize that I was setting myself up for failure later on in my life by making those bad habits, because now it's kind of, I feel like it's kind of a habit to resort to food. I can remember 2 times these last couple months where I have gotten to such a low that I had no idea what to even do with myself. I had felt so guilty because I was so emotional, and I just ate and ate and ate and ate. During the time, I literally knew what I was doing and I knew what caused it, but I still didn't stop. And I had no idea why. I had no control over this conscious decision that I kept making to just shove my face and think that that would make all my pain go away, my emotional pain go away. And after I got into this vicious cycle of feeling so insanely guilty, the next day I wanted to just work out like crazy and eat like nothing and compensate for what I had done, I guess. I really hope anybody can recover from. Binge eating is not physical whatsoever. It is 100% in your head, and it's not something that anyone can control. Our society results to celebrating with food. Naturally, I think everyone almost has that natural instinct to celebrate their victories with food, which is okay, but I think for someone like myself who doesn't necessarily know when to stop, my lifestyle has constantly been watching what I'm eating. That's been my life for the last 2 years, and going from that restriction and constantly counting calories, going into kind of trying to live a balanced lifestyle but still wanting to make progress is so hard, honestly, because I don't want to be the kind of person that says no to going out and celebrating a friend's birthday because I need to watch what I'm eating, but I also really want to devote all the time and effort and energy that I have to myself. So I think that's kind of what I'm struggling with even now. I think now that I'm aware of it, it is a lot easier for me to accept and approach, but I'm still struggling with it, and I wanted to say it out loud because I feel that there are more people out there that are also struggling with this. If there's one thing I could get anyone to take away from this, is that you're not the only person, and this is me putting myself in a vulnerable position, did I just say? Vulnerable position, because I think I have a problem with food. Now, the one thing that I've really been thinking about lately is what triggers that emotion? What triggers my thoughts to go directly to food? What I have figured out is that I am 100% an emotional eater. Again, going back to rewarding myself has always been with food, and comforting myself has always been with food. When I was little, my dad used to take me to go get ice cream when I would be upset about a heartbreak. And ever since that time, I've always gone to food naturally as like my own habit. When I'm hurt, I feel like that is my way of feeling that void, which is awful. But that is how I remember feeling comforting myself with that void that has been taken away. So I'm happy to say that I'm aware of what triggers it, but it's definitely something that I need to work on. I've been going through a little bit of rough times these last couple months where I found myself in a really, really deep low, and I didn't really know how to make myself feel better. So naturally, with that instinct, I resorted to food. And you literally get to a point where you are so full, but you keep eating and eating and eating. And I don't want to say that I have a binge eating disorder, but I definitely used binge eating as a way to comfort my feelings. If anyone is going through something where you find yourself eating out of your emotions, ask yourself what triggers it and pull yourself away. If it is a bad person, if it's a relationship, if it's friends, if it's your job, if it's anything that causes you stress, or that feeling that pulls you into that vicious cycle of binge eating and emotional eating and not knowing how to cope with your feelings, wipe it out. You deserve way more than suffering through whatever you're going through. Because at the end of the day, when you're finding yourself to be in that vulnerable position where you don't know how to cope with your emotions, you are going to want to result to something that is a false happiness and a temporary happiness. And I think it's hard to know when you're getting into that mental state. Let's talk about society and society's expectations. I cannot begin to explain my frustration for society and dieting, and look at this diet, and look at this pill, look at this workout program, everything. Ugh, I cannot handle it. The pressure that our society puts on people to look a certain way, to feel a certain way, to be a certain way, based on your physical appearance, or how to get the ideal physical appearance, which is slim and toned and this muscular. And it drives me insane, because the expectations to get to where you should be are to restrict yourself, to take a certain food out of your diet, to do a certain amount of exercise. Just keep it simple. It doesn't have to be complicated. Society's expectations and the pressure that everyone puts on everyone else through social media. Society is regulating restriction. Your ideal, I can't even speak. I am so freaking triggered. Okay. You are trying to build a lifestyle, a sustainable lifestyle. You do not need to look a certain way by a certain amount of time unless you're like competing. I respect all that. Good for you guys for putting your bodies through that. I don't think I could ever do that. I'm talking about a balanced lifestyle where you enjoy the exercise that you're doing and you enjoy the foods you're eating without worrying about what people are thinking of you, or how much they're eating versus how much you're eating, or how much you should be eating versus how much they should be eating, and the kind of exercise you should be doing. It doesn't matter what society thinks is right. You need to find the kind of exercise that you enjoy, that you genuinely look forward to. We all go through up and downs with motivation, so and sometimes I really don't feel like going to the gym, and sometimes, most of the time, I look forward to it. I love the feeling I get when I'm in the gym and I'm working on myself and I see progress and I'm feeling good. You get the idea. You need to find things that work for your lifestyle, and you need to find food that works for your lifestyle. I don't think a lot of people understand that. I think society is putting the pressure on everyone that there's only one way to get to where you should be, and that is restriction and doing this workout program or for this long or whatever it is. It does not matter what society, what pressure society puts on you for how you look. You should feel confident when you feel confident. That made no sense at all. If you feel confident going out in a bikini, or you have some loose skin, or you've got some cellulite, see, even that, I automatically went to what society has put as being negative things when they're not. This is society's perfect image. This is me feeling confident. There are two different things that should not be relevant whatsoever. That should go for everyone. If you feel confident, be confident. You should be able to feel confident for however you look, for whatever reason, wear what you want, eat what you want, exercise how you want, as long as you feel good in your skin and you are doing something for yourself and you are living for yourself. You're not living for expectations of society. It does not matter what anyone else thinks, because at the end of the day, you're not going to sit there and reflect on your life and think of what everyone else thought of you. You're going to think of how you lived your life and why you lived it the way you did and how you felt. That is all that's going to matter. Struggling a lot. I don't know why. I don't know what has shifted, and I think, no, I lied. I do know why. I feel like I should have made a certain amount of progress in a certain amount of time. I feel guilty for not making as much progress as I should have. That idea that's in my head is solely based on what my expectation of progress should look like based on society, not what my life looks like. And I think I keep beating myself up about it. I feel like I keep telling myself that I'm not good enough, or I'm not making enough progress, or I should be making more, or I should be working harder, or I should be restricting myself. List goes on and on. I get into this vicious cycle in my head of I'm not good enough, or I haven't made enough progress to have a page where I'm sharing my story, because there are people out there that do make more progress. But to be completely honest, I just want to live my life. I don't want to do it for other people, which is why I'm not. And I guess this is me saying that fuck society. I'm sorry for my language, but it does not matter what society thinks. All that matters is that you are doing everything you are doing for yourself. What I've learned in the last couple months is that I would way rather look back on my life and have enjoyed every single day and enjoying the process of the change I'm trying to put my body through, while enjoying my life along the way. Why live your life being restricted for such a short amount of time? After that period ends, after that restricted period ends, you're gonna have your whole entire life to figure out how to live. Learn to love the lifestyle that you're trying to live. Enjoy the exercise you're doing. Enjoy the food you're eating. Make sure you have a good support system around you of people that support you. It is not worth missing out on life opportunities because you want to look a certain way based on how you think you should look. I think it is important sometimes to be selfish if you do want to buckle down and you really want to just work on yourself and work towards your goals. That's awesome. Some people can live like that, but in my experience, I do not want to live a restricted lifestyle. I really hope that made sense. I'm doing this solely for my own purpose because I know there are people out there who are struggling with the same thing as me, and I just want to reach out to them and do what I can. Have a lovely rest of your day, and I will see you in the next video.